Crypto, the notion that SEC Chairman Gary Gensler is quitting has swept Twitter. John Deaton, an attorney who is in favor of XRP, has responded on the speculations suggesting that a resignation from Gensler is probable. In light of Judge Annalisa Torres' summary judgment decision in the SEC EVs, Ripple litigation, CryptoLaw's founding attorney John Deaton took to Twitter to discuss the implications of the ruling. After seeing a tweet from prominent Bitcoin YouTuber Scott Melker, attorney Deaton made the comment in response. Today, Melker tweeted that if the American people don't push back against the SEC's overreach, just 4 cryptocurrencies – Bitcoin, BC, Ethereum, ETH, Litecoin Cash, Bitcoin, and Bitcoin Cash, Baichi, and Bitcoin Cash will be available to trade on exchanges controlled by Wall Street. Melker brought up the 4 crypto assets since SEC Chair Gary Gensler had previously classified them as commodities while classifying other tokens as securities. According to Melker, the X exchange, supported by Wall Street heavyweights like as Fidelity Digital Investments, Charles Schwab, and Citadel Securities, solely trades these 4 digital currencies. In response, attorney Deaton tweeted that the post made the ruling by Judge Torres even more consequential. He elaborated that if the court rules against XRP, it would be status quo and give those who are fighting crypto, like as Gensler, Warren Buffett, and Rep. Brad Sherman, greater political clout. Deaton, however, said that the whole market and all crypto assets will benefit from a positive verdict for XRP from Judge Torres. Meanwhile, the SEC has maintained its position that it has authority over all facets of the cryptocurrency industry. All crypto assets outside of Bitcoin are securities, Gensler said, as was previously reported. As a result of his statement, the SEC has begun a massive crackdown on crypto-related firms, charging them with breaking securities laws. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, filed charges against Coinbase and Binance last month for allegedly promoting the trade of unregistered securities such as ADA, Sol, Matic, and Algo. You may recall that the SEC has asserted that XRP is a security, making secondary market trading of the currency suspect. In particular, the question of whether or not XRP sales on the secondary market constitute securities will be decided by Judge Torres. The judge's decision on whether or not XRP is a security would set a precedent that might weaken the SEC's grip on the market. Therefore, other token issuers may use this judgment as support for their claims that their tokens are not securities, while the industry waits for the result in the SEC EVs. Ripple Labs' legal dispute, a lawyer has speculated on when the verdict would be released based on the summary judgment ruling history of Judge Annalisa Torres. Attorney Fred Rispoli, who is on Ripple Labs' side in the continuing legal struggle with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, has speculated that the court's verdict might be released in August. The attorney used data on the federal judge who is presiding over the case, Annalisa Torres of the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York, to emphasize that 60 of the judge's rulings came between 146 and 330 days, with the judgment announced in an average of 240 days. From these numbers, we may infer that the verdict was due on September 17, 2022, or 249 days after the original move for summary judgment was filed, which would be May 21 this year. Since that month has passed without any word from court, that argument is no longer valid. Rispoli also considered using the 330-day criterion to the SEC EVs. Ripple Labs' case, which would likely result in a judgment by the court on August 10 of this year. Between 146 and 330 days, 60 of decisions are made. That's a total of 330 days or till August 10, 2023, or 249 days from September 17, 2022, which is May 2022, which is May 2023. The attorney added after receiving what might be the finest or worst birthday present of his life. Which one of the two? John Deaton, another crypto law pioneer and pro-Ripple attorney, projected using data that Judge Torres' ruling may come out on September 6. Rispoli's prediction is somewhat earlier than Deaton's. Deaton based the September 6 deadline on the March 6 order by Judge Torres on the Daubert motion in the Ripple Labs complaint. In one case she issued a summary judgment ruling 6 months after ruling on Daubert. According to what Deaton mentioned during the broadcast, 6 months from her Daubert decision. If it were on March 6, it would be September 6. In May, Ripple Labs CEO Brad Garlinghouse said that the company believes the legal fight is coming to a close and that a ruling might be issued in weeks' time. Supporter of XRP and attorney John Deaton commented on reports that SEC Chairman Gary Gensler will be resigning. Deaton thinks it's likely that SEC Chair Gensler would retire for political reasons, even if news of his departure is still only a rumor. As a friend of the court, in the case between the SEC and Ripple, attorney John Deaton speculates that SEC Chair Gary Gensler may retire shortly. A rumor about the agency chair's position was circulating on crypto Twitter, and Deaton addressed it. Deaton claims that the SEC's recent crackdown on cryptocurrency exchanges and initiatives in the ecosystem may lead to Gensler's departure before of the forthcoming election. For nearly 2 years, the SEC has been involved in a legal struggle with Ripple, two of the main exchanges in the cryptocurrency ecosystem, Binance and Coinbase, have been sued by the banking regulator. Almost 600 cryptocurrencies were deemed securities by the regulator in the case, meaning the exchanges were facilitating the trading of unregistered securities. In the SEC's EVs, Ripple lawsuit, XRP investors are awaiting a ruling. According to Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple Labs, the summary decision in the matter from Judge Annalisa Torres is due in September. A verdict in the SEC EVs. Ripple litigation is expected by August 10, according to pro-XRP attorney Fred Rispoli. Rispoli figured this out by looking at the frequency with which Judge Torres issued summary decisions. At the time of this Monday's writing, the cryptocurrency was trading at 4,810 cents, having maintained above that level. Investors in XRP are keeping a close eye on the lawsuit and Ripple's future moves as the cryptocurrency continues its encouraging upward trajectory. A pro-XRP legal expert has provided further arguments in favor of the blockchain company's side of the legal struggle as the cryptocurrency sector excitedly awaits the outcome of the case launched by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, CE, against Ripple. On July 2, attorney Bill Morgan asked in a tweet, if Ripple did anything nefarious or even illegal besides selling unregistered securities, why the regulator filed no injunction at all? He was part of a discussion that included prominent XRP community member, Mr. Huber, and former SEC enforcement lawyer Mark Fagel. What, he continued, was the purpose of safeguarding investors if, years after a case is filed, Ripple is free to pursue what the SEC deems to be obviously unlawful and detrimental acts to investors? For the protection of investors, shouldn't the SEC have at least considered filing for this? And he said the SEC would need to show how there is an investment contract when ODL customers who don't invest in the token and don't expect profits transacts the XRP within seconds for fast, cheap cross-border payments, not investments. According to him,